So today I'm going to do my makeup for the first time in months. We're still on lockdown, so yeah. I completely forgot how to do my makeup in a way that I feel comfortable. Not a guru, not trying to be. I just have I ate what I wanted, even though I knew the consequences marks. So I have a mirror in front of me, and I'm going to constantly be admiring my handiwork. First things first, I already washed my face, put lotion in my face, and I put sunscreen on. So I just have to start with the primer. So my primer is the Too Faced Hangover. It's the same shit that I've always used. I decided to film today because I had a scare. And when I say a scare, I mean your girl was terrified, right? I went away to Atlantic City for a couple of days. And while there, I started feeling like really, really sick. Mind you, this is during COVID. While we were allowed to travel, I followed all the guidelines. I didn't take any form of public transportation. I was in a car, whole car. And I got sick. Got out there, and I started feeling worse. Like I was tired. I was a little bitchy, and it got worse. I don't know how else to say it. So while I'm out there, like my clothes starts to hurt. Oh shoot, what am I using? This is Tarte Shape Tape. It's the contour and concealer in Deep. I use this as foundation, so don't mind me while I am looking like a psychopath, just slapping this stuff around, because it's gonna go everywhere. So this is my foundation. So I get out there, and I wasn't alone. I get out there and I am just not feeling well. I have, was it NyQuil? I think it was NyQuil. No, I don't know. I had a cold and flu situation. I had a leave because that is the only painkiller that works for me. So I had a leave. I had the cold and flu meds. I was Dayquil and NyQuil. There you go. So I was taking that while I was out there. It was just I was out there taking meds and getting progressively worse. I lost my taste for a little bit. Everything I ate tasted bland. All of the drinks were horrible. And I knew it was because I wasn't feeling well. So I wasn't being a total bitch about everything, but I really wasn't feeling well. So everything I ate, everything I drank, everything I did got on my nerves. Blending it out with this is not a beauty blender. It's an e.l.f. blending sponge. Okay. So now I go through all of that. Feeling horrible. Taste is gone. Everything tastes nasty. I am definitely not good company at this point. I just want to go. All right, cool. But it wasn't a horrible experience. The feeling was horrible. The Atlantic City trip wasn't bad. Now I'm just gonna go over certain spots that I want to cover up even more. You know, that I'm gonna do it on one spots. But, you know, had fun while dying. Did a little shopping. Shopping was fun. What else? And then came back. By the time we returned, though, I was feeling horrible. I just wasn't a nice person. I know I wasn't a nice person, and I apologize. But I was not a nice person. I just didn't want to be bothered with anyone or anything. Cool. Now, as the days go by, I feel worse and worse. And I rock out for about 4 days before actually saying something and like being partially freaked out. So food still tasted horrible. This is an elf brush that I swear I must have had for like a decade or so. And this is Laura Mercier translucent powder in medium deep. Came back from the trip. I am not a nice person. I am groggy. I am cranky. Thankfully, the world was still working from home. So I was able to still work. As stressful as that was, I was able to still get my do my job after returning home. And wasn't fun. But I was still able to do my job, get ish done, and try to have some sort of personal life. I don't know. But I essentially felt like I was dying. I essentially felt like I was dying, right? I couldn't get anything done without feeling like absolute crap. I don't have my blending brush. I'll be back. So I didn't have anything to worry about work-wise because I was still able to do my job, like I said. And everything went on as smooth as it could while you're dying on the inside. But shit got real when my body started hurting more and more. I felt pain down into my bones. Like it hurt to sit, it hurt to stand, it hurt when my clothes touched my skin. Like it was so freaking painful after a while that I was like, you know what, I give up. I give in. Whatever this is, you win. I quit. I gotta go to the ER. And that's when I decided to bite the bullet and call my father and let him know that I wasn't feeling good. And I needed him to take me to the ER because I couldn't drive myself. That's how bad I was feeling. So he came over, took me to the ER. I went in there. I hate hospitals. Other than having a child, I haven't spent any time in hospitals. It's to the point where I would wait to go to urgent care before I take myself to the ER because there's a 99.9% chance I'm going to have a full-blown panic attack, which I did. I was so weak, I felt like I was going to pass out. It hurt to eat, so I just didn't. And food tasted nasty anyway, so why bother? I get there, and the poor woman who was supposed to help me, I had a whole panic attack. And it made me sound like I was wheezing. Like it was like I couldn't breathe. And of course, it's like smack in the middle of COVID, so I'm wearing a mask. My hatred of masks is crazy. So for me, having panic attacks that are random, my brain tells my nose and my mouth that because the mask is covering them both, I can't breathe. We both know I can breathe. Like everyone knows that I can breathe, they're doing it. If you weren't able to breathe, you'd die. But my brain somehow convinces my nose and my mouth that the air that's coming in and out actually isn't. So I'm going to line my lips really quickly while you think about that weird turn of events. Okay. So now I'm in there. This poor woman who has to take my info is looking at me like I'm kind of crazy, and I'm just like, miss, there's nothing I can do. Then they call me because for the symptoms I literally just put everything hurts, can't taste. I said everything hurts, can't taste, haven't eaten, feel weak. Yeah, so I think that was all I put. So they called me pretty quickly because it's in the middle of COVID. I know I wasn't looking for attention. I was feeling fucking horrible. They called me in to do the finger thing where they test your blood pressure, heartbeat, heart rate, whatever they put the finger thing on for. So that's what they did. And while she's doing that, round 2 of the panic attack, I'm sitting in there, and it got to the point where the lady was like, and she backed up, and I was like this, and I couldn't even talk, so she had to wait until it was over, and the nurse that was with her was dead ass rolling her eyes. So when I was done, I was like, I'm sorry about that. That was a panic attack. They're random. And the other nurse was like, are you sure that's a panic attack? I was like, well, unless you are my my therapist, or you can properly diagnose by panic attacks, I would love you to tell me what the fuck just happened. And then, that kind of toned her ass down a little bit. And she asked me if I was on any medications, and I'm not. My therapist and I decided to take a break from meds to see if, I can get them under control on my own, which I have, which is really surprising. They are really like under control, where I don't have any for days on end. But then out of nowhere, depending on how stressed I am, out of nowhere, it seems they come back full force. So for work, sidebar, when the company I work for started announcing their return to work plans, panic attacks almost daily after receiving that email. So, but back to the hospital. When the lady finally got her head out her ass, she allowed her coworker to finish checking me in, and she said under her breath, in a way, I hope she's not trying to get admitted. No, I'm not. I need to go home to my kids, because of all places, I do not want to be stuck in this hospital. Because if this is how you act as an ER nurse, God help anybody that has to actually be admitted. And trust me when I say I can't be one of them. So, got her head out her ass again. And I went to see a doctor in like maybe 15 minutes. All this took maybe 15 minutes total. So by the time my father actually finds a park and comes back, I am already in seeing a doctor. This man is godsend, because he's like, what's wrong? I said, I don't know, but I just want you to tell me it's not COVID. He goes, okay, it's not COVID. Now what's wrong? And I tell him everything that's happened. I told him about my trip to Atlantic City. I told him that there's a possibility that I was feeling this way before the trip, and all the things. He goes, you may just have a really bad cold that has symptoms of flu and COVID. So based on all of the information that you've been getting from the media or online, if you've been doing any searching, is making you feel like it's something that it's not. He took my temperature, and then he was like, 101. This could be a little scary. And like, he was like, I'm just going to poke you. You tell me your pain level. And no matter where that man touched me, my pain level was like at like a 15. I was like, mister, don't touch me again. We might have a problem. He says, well, I'm sorry, I have to take your pressure. Excruciating. I don't recommend it. So he did that, and then we chatted for a little bit, because he wanted to like know about my headaches, my this, my that, my whatever. Oh, sorry, I think I'm getting another cold. But now at the end, he goes, yeah, you don't have COVID. I said, okay. So like, I just make the pain stop. Now that I know it's not COVID, you're telling me it's not COVID. In the back of my brain, I can relax a little bit. But like on some serious shit, what is this? And get it away from me. Get it out of me. Make the pain stop. This man gives me some over strong Tylenol. I was like, Tylenol doesn't normally work for me. He says, oh no, this will work. I was like, okay. So he gave me like really strong Tylenol and then two types of antibiotics. He said these antibiotics are because you have a really bad flu. I was like, but there's no coughing, no sneezing, my nose isn't runny, it isn't, none of that. He says, yeah, you don't, that's not what you have. And then he gave me a paper that said what it was. And I was like, should I look this up? He says, I don't know. If you look it up, you may come back. And I was like, no. So I took his word for it. I finally made it home. And I got the medication. Finally made it home. And went straight to sleep. I took the painkiller and the antibiotic because I was supposed to start it right away. I took that with a glass of water. I went to bed. And I think I slept like maybe 16 hours. So, like, I was out of it. Did I tell you it hurt to sleep? Yeah. Whatever. But I think I slept for like 16 hours. The kids didn't bother me. I don't know what they ate during my time away. Because, like, I was dead to the world. But they survived. And they kind of took care of me for the next couple of days. When I came home, I did send my my manager the doctor's note and let her know I was going to be out for a couple of days, so I was fine with that. And the kids kind of took care of me. And in the end, when I was feeling better and I was well enough to talk, some people were annoyed that I didn't call them, that I didn't let them know. I am way past caring at this point. But I survived. I thought it was COVID, mainly because I lost the taste. I lost the sense of taste, and because I was feeling so horrible. And of course, with everyone in their videos and their snaps, and like, I was like, holy crap, I'm gonna die. But it wasn't. So, camera died. Can't remember what I was saying. I kind of watched it happen, but whatever. COVID was and is so scary that I didn't know what to do or what to think. But I also know that the real driving force behind me going to the hospital is once the idea that, or the thought rather, that I might have COVID sunk in a way, my next immediate thought was, holy shit, I'm gonna give it to my kids. I need to know. And like that, of course, propelled me to go to the hospital. They did do a COVID test, so I did get the results for that also later on that day, but of course I was already sleeping, and I did not and do not have COVID. I've been fortunate enough to avoid it personally, meaning I don't have it, my kids never did, and hopefully never will have it. But yeah, that was my near-death experience, because I really felt like I was gonna die, and I just wanted to get a little prettified. I didn't do my eyebrows. I don't know what to do with my eyebrows. They're acting weird. I feel like they're not the same. Like, this one is the perfect eyebrow for me. Like, this is what I want this one to look like. But this one is like the redheaded stepchild. Love redheads, by the way. There's nothing wrong with it. But this one is like the redheaded stepchild who just does what it wants when it wants, and to hell with everyone else. So I'm just kind of trying to roll with it and get it as close as I can. But like, then there are times when I brush it, and then I do the brow gel, and like I'll fill it in, and then this one becomes the better brow. So then like I'm just screwed. But either way, This is my makeup look. This is my everyday thing. As you can see, it's really, really simple. All I used was the Tarte Shape Tape for... I just can't get this thing to focus. No, it doesn't want to. So it's the Tarte Shape Tape Contour Concealer, and it's in Deep. I follow up with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. There's these two. Trusted Blending Sponge. I want to call this a stipple brush, but I know it's not. My e.l.f. brush. And then my Real Techniques powder brush that I just... And, oh, of course, always have primer at the bottom. Then I also have the Jack Black Lip Balm. This is like a Holy Grail-ish type of a thing. You can always find one in my bag or in my house somewhere. MAC Chestnut Lip Liner. Kat Von D's, oh my gosh, it's been so long. Kat Von D's Lolita and Bow and Arrow. I have Lolita all over my lip. Bow and Arrow I really just put in the center. As you guys saw me do, and then I kind of feather it in. I like this look. I think it's natural-ish for me. And that's pretty much it. If I was gonna do my brows, I mean my, what are these things called? My eyelids or my eyes, I would normally do like a neutral brown with a teeny little pop of glitter, but not really. But that's it. During the day, if I start to feel like I want a little change, I would throw on Fussy from Fenty Beauty, their lip gloss. I'm struggling today, but I will put this over it because like until I get used to the slightly sticky feeling, it'll bother me. So I do like the matte look, but sometimes I also just like to throw a quick gloss over it. If I'm going outside, of course, because it's still mask season, I will not put any gloss over it. I will let it dry, and that'll be it. And speaking of, that's it. I don't have anything else. Oh, don't pay attention to my nail. Okay, my pretties, that's it for me. Bye.